Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners. We're back at Albion Park on Saturday night. It's a 10-race program and we kick off at 5:04. In this first race, it's a ripper. Captain Shuffle's stepping out, fine-tuning for next week's big triad final. Tim's a trooper who's trying to impress those that have still got slots available for the Tab Eureka on September 2. And there's a number of other quality performers going around. So it's a great way to start the program. In this edition of Weekend Winners, proudly brought to you by One Equine, we're going to track down Angus, Garrard and Matt Elkins. Angus Garrard has a busy night in front of him on Saturday night. A number of drives and a number of key drives as well. And he slides into the hot seat to join us for Weekend Winners. Angus, appreciate the time.
My pleasure, Chris.
We start with race 1, and this is a hot field, this first race on Saturday night. This is a really good clash here. Your drive is Classy Washington. He's Mr. Consistency, as we know. His last start effort when third behind Red Right Hand was super, fast time. Can he take this race on Saturday night?
Yeah, I think he's definitely got the ability to, Chris. I think he's made that quite clear, but, you know, he is stepping up in grade a little bit, and it's a really solid race across the board, so it is going to be tough.
Well, he's much better drawn on Saturday night compared to that last start where you had that second row draw. So just initially, what was the thoughts with the draw, with the horse drawn to your inside? It's Mr. Clooney. He's got early speed, and then you've got Captain Shuffles immediately to your outside. So you've got pace to your inside and outside. So how does it sort of shake out early?
Yeah, I was wrapped with that draw. You know, we don't have to do anything special from the two. We're sort of already where we want to be. We can sort of let them sort themselves out in the early stages, and then we're sort of probably going to lob handy enough without having to do anything anyway.
Just looking back at that last start, he was terrific, all things considered. The times, his last mile would have been super.
Yeah, he was really good again, Chris. He probably, to be honest, wasn't quite as sharp as he was probably when he ran second to Send It. But, you know, he was still really good, and he just missed sort of working with another horse that week leading up to that last run. So he's back in the normal regime, and hopefully he's right at his best on Saturday night.
Okay. It's a good lineup, as I said. It's a band 4, band 2 race. Are you more worried about Captain Shuffles or Tim's a Trooper if you could only pick one?
Oh, that's pretty tough. Probably Tim's a Trooper. He's sort of proven himself against open grade now over the carnival there. So he's probably got the runs on the board, but we all know how good Captain Shuffles is when he's right.
Yeah, it's a deep race though, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. You know, you can make cases for most, if not all, in this race, and there's a couple that come up with handy draws that haven't had handy draws for a little while, so it's definitely a great race.
All right, well, that's Classy Washington. Race 4, Luxury Lad. He was really good winning 2 starts ago. He had the ideal draw last week. What happened last week?
Oh, I wouldn't blame him at all for last week. You know, the Metallica man just sort of came back in our face a little bit there, and we lost momentum before the lane, and he's probably not a horse that at any stage is going to pick up and go hard once he's been held up, lost his momentum. So I gave him a pass mark for last week, and hopefully we can get a good trip this week. This
is a lot easier, this race, compared to last week, and there's certainly no standout here either.
Yeah, that's right. It certainly is a lot easier than last week. It's probably slightly tougher than what he beat when he won 2 starts ago, but, you know, if he gets the right trip, I think he's right in it.
Okay, so he's a genuine top 4 chance?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep, all right. Well, that's a good one there. Luxury Lad, race 4. What about race 5? This is a good drive here. AJ Breezy Rose. She's in super consistent form. She comes into this race as a last start winner, and she's drawn the inside of the second row, but drawn to follow out a good mare in Always Be Me. Do you rate this mare well?
Yeah, definitely, Chris. She's a really nice mare when she's right, and last run gave the indication that she's certainly getting back to her best, so really pleased with the draw, and hopefully she can go close.
This is obviously harder, but it's the right spot to be in this sort of greater race at Albion Park. When you're on the fence, you don't have to do too much work. It's just ideal, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. You know, we're following a nice beginner and a nice mare and Always Be Me, so hopefully we can hustle through hard, hold her back, and I think we can certainly go very close.
All right, well, that's AJ Breezy Rose. Again, for Colin Godden, you're driving Mahindi in race 6. She comes up with gate 2. Is that a good draw for her?
Yeah, I think it is a good draw, Chris. You know, she's a mare that's got really good ability, but she's probably been down on a little bit of form lately, so you know, probably back to Albion suits her, and she's a mare that likes to sort of get out and roll along a bit. So hopefully they can run that race to suit her on Saturday night, and she can perform a lot better.
Well, just looking at that front line, there looks to be a fair bit of pressure there. So that should ensure that there is going to be a genuine tempo, which will help your cause.
Yeah, definitely. You know, she's definitely not suited when they sort of back off and sprint home. She's a mare that likes to keep her momentum and keep rolling, and she'll just sort of keep whacking away. So with the right trip, she's right in it.
Okay. Again, for Colin Gordon, race 8, number 1, Did She Do It? She's a last start winner. How do you rate this mare?
Yeah, don't know a whole lot about her, but I drove her in a trial here a week or two ago, and she was felt quite nice. And then her first up win, she felt really good and did it quite easy. You know, she only did what she had to and then switched off. But she certainly felt like a mare that could do a good job.
Yeah, that time was good winning last time out, 58 around Redcliffe, so that's good going.
Yeah, it certainly was, and she finished it off nice too, which was pleasing.
Okay, so from barrier 1, how much gate speed does she have?
Yeah, she's got plenty of speed. She likes to roll out naturally anyway, so we'll just let her get out, you know, as best she can early, and then I think that'll give us the options after that.
All right, it's quite an open race. Again, there's a number of mares that you can give really good claims to.
Yeah, it certainly is. There's a fair few mares in this race that have been racing quite well lately, so it is even, but hopefully we can get a good trip from the ace draw and take advantage.
All right. The last race on Saturday night, this is the trot, mobile start as well, 2,138 metres, Sir Fahrenheit. That's your drive. He's drawn the inside of the second row. Potentially, that could be a really good draw. Yeah,
I was really happy when the fields came out, Chris. I was sort of expecting worse than that, to be honest, but yeah, really pleased with the second line, and especially after the Global Flight race last time out. If he can race like that again, it should give us perfect toe into it.
All right, so the ideal scenario, Global Flight holds up from the inside and you're glued to his back.
Yeah, hopefully that'd make life easy, but it'd certainly give us our chance the way he raced last time.
How do you sort of gauge him right now, Sir Fahrenheit? Since the carnival, this run last time out against Gus and Funny Face, how do you sort of gauge him right now, your guy?
Yeah, I've been really happy with him. You know, he hadn't had a run for a couple of weeks last time, and he was still good. You know, he had to work and come off the 20, and you know, it's probably a little bit of a tricky time at the moment. There's a few trotters that are coming off the front, sort of stepping up into Saturday night company, and they're sort of nice trotters. You know, Gus, you look back last Tuesday, run his last mile in 54 from the stand, and then gets back to a front on a Saturday night. So it makes it tough for horses like Sir Fahrenheit, but you know, I'm happy with him. I thought he raced really well through the carnival, and I think he's still sort of nearly at his best.
All right, so you're still aiming for the Inter-Dominion. That's the big target, only a couple of months away.
Yeah, you know, it's in our backyard, so it'd be silly not to, you know. He's probably going to have to win a few races between now and then, but, you know, if he's sort of going good enough to get into it, then, yeah, we'll be there.
All right, well, hopefully that winning streak starts this Saturday night in the final race. Out of all your drives on Saturday night, which one are you most looking forward to?
I actually think AJ Breezy Rose, you know, as we said, she comes up with a really good draw following a nice mare, so hopefully she can go very close.
All right, race 5, number 8, AJ Breezy Rose. Angus, as always, appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
No worries. Thanks, Chris.
It's a busy night coming up for Matty Elkins on Saturday night. A number of drives and a number of key runners in his own right. He joins us now. Matty, appreciate the time.
No worries, thanks Chris. Must be hard up for drivers. I keep getting the start and can't tip anyone into a winner.
Well, this is your chance. You can steer us into one on Saturday night, and you've got a good one to start with as well, because this first race is loaded. There's plenty of depth here, but your guy's in super form, American Outlaw. He's obviously going to relish a genuine tempo. Surely you get that on Saturday night.
Yeah, this is a cracking lineup. I think sort of any one of those horses could sort of bob up and win this race if it was run to suit them. You know, sort of doesn't really matter what horse we're following or what. I think the tempo will be genuine, and they're all sort of good enough to win on it, I think.
Just on your guy, his last 2 starts, you're able to put away Classy Washington 2 starts ago, coming off his back, and then last time out, that very good second in super fast time against Captain Shuffles, who you meet again here. Were you surprised by either of those efforts?
Nah, obviously Narissa's done the drive in the last 2, but you know, I thought if Paravani couldn't win that 2 starts ago, I thought American Outlaw was probably the horse to beat. He'd sort of trained up super to that race and kind of expected him to race really well. Last week we sort of threw him in, had no other options but to race at 21, which probably isn't his preferred distance, but we sort of learned a bit from that. He seemed to love it, and in a 52.9 mile he couldn't have done much more.
Okay, so it's 2100 again here on Saturday night. Just looking at this lineup, it's so deep, as you said. You can make cases for most, if not all. Surely you get that tempo. Is that all that he needs on Saturday night?
Yeah, I think so. You know, the two main things at Albion, if you're coming from back, you do need strong tempo. If they're getting home in low 27s or 26s, it's pretty much task impossible. And he can get a little revvy in races, so obviously the faster they go, the better he'll travel, and should be the better he finishes off.
All right. I'll ask you this question. The 2 4-year-olds, they're the big talking point for this race. Captain Shuffles getting set for the Triad. Tim's a trooper, hoping to snare a spot in the Eureka. If you can only pick one, which one are you more worried about?
Probably Captain Shuffles, and that's taking nothing away from the other horse, but he probably gets driven a bit more conservatively and for luck on his side, where Captain Shuffles seems to have the all-round game, and he did beat us last start.
Okay. Just long-term with American Outlaw, given that the series is here in Brisbane, the Inter-Dominion, will you throw in a nomination for American Outlaw?
Yeah, it's obviously sort of a bit out of reach at the minute probably, but you know, if he continues to improve and continues to sort of race well at the longer trips, I can't see why not. He seems to follow speed so well and can let down off any speed.
Well, he hasn't put in a bad one for you yet.
Well, there was a couple I was a shade disappointed, but we found a couple little issues, and that's why he sort of had a little bit of time off racing, and we fixed that, and all seems well at the moment.
All right, well, that's American Outlaw. Race 2. Good pickup drive here. Magical Maya getting set for the Triad. She won the Triad last year as a 3-year-old filly. She's chasing 3 straight victories. Good drive, this one.
Yeah, nah, real good drive to pick up. She's airborne lately, and I guess there's a bit of pressure to make sure she's tip-top for next week.
What do you do from the draw? Trent Dawson never afraid to put this mare into the race. It's probably a little stronger than what she's beat at a pass 2, but winning form's good form, so you can't knock that.
No, and sort of her last 2 wins, she has done all the work in the race. So, I mean, I'll have to have a good talk to Trent about her and about the race, but I'd say if the opportunity was there to get forward, you know, we might sort of take that option, but if not, she's still going to be a winning hope.
Just looking at her replay, she looks like she's fairly straightforward. Doesn't look like there's any tricks with her.
Yeah, well, I hope you haven't jinxed me, but no, it's a very good drive to pick up, and I'm pretty happy about this drive.
All right, well, that's Magical Maya in race number 2. What about race 3? Big Skewy. We spoke about this guy recently. He's absolutely flying. He lands the inside gate. Will this be his night on Saturday night?
Oh, I'd like to hope so. His gate speed's probably still a little query. He did leave the gate pretty well last week, but it's probably a different ball game from 1 at the mile this week. But we will be doing everything that we can to try and hold up from 1. No one seems to want to let us go, so we want to lead.
All right. Is there one in particular that you are concerned about that might have the speed to zap you at the start?
The Grogfather is probably the first one that comes to my mind in gate 3, and probably is racing well, but I sort of want to be out in front with my guy, that's for sure.
All right, just looking back at the replay, he was enormous last start.
Yeah, I don't think I've had one go better in defeat. You know, I was real confident going into the race, and things didn't go his way, but he actually showed full of heart, and he does like to keep rolling, so that's why we'll keep driving him.
All right, so barrier 1, he's fit, he's in form. This is his race to lose.
Yeah, but, you know, in saying that too, he's probably going to have a good one on his back, which will be a danger as well, but, you know, he's fit, healthy and in form, so if we're in front, we'll be trying to cut out a good mile.
All right, well, I'll ask this question. Are you more worried about a Marmy or Zoom Party who got you last week?
Again, it works on the map. You know, if a Marmy's on our back and we get softened up and are running, it probably is a danger. Zoom Party may have to come flip wide sort of earlier in the race this week. So, you know, they're both probably real dangers, but if we're in front, we'll get our chance.
Okay. Let's go across to race 6. I'm keen to get your thoughts here on Sea Lover. I know this is a mare that you think is very capable of winning a Saturday night race. Is this the right race for her on the weekend?
Oh, I don't really know. Sort of, I don't think it matters about the race, the field, it's just how the race is going to set up for her. I mean, last week she went back, sat last, run last, but I think her own last half might have been a shade better than 55. So you can't do much more than that. We're just going to wait for the opportunity for the race to plan out in her way.
Okay, there's no standout in this race, so hoping that you just get that genuine tempo.
Yeah, and you know, if there's not genuine tempo, we might go and try and force the issue again.
All right, well, that's Sea Lover in race 6. What about race 7? Here's a guy that's going absolutely super. He finally lands a good draw. Talking about Prince Joy, is this a winnable race for him?
Yeah, it's not an overly strong race, I don't think. And any time he has drawn good and sat on the fence, he's sort of mixed it with a lot better type horses in his own right. So the draw's a big help, and I think he will race well.
What do you think of his run last week when 5th?
Yeah, no, he was good. You know, we tried making a run wide, and a couple come out in front of us, and we switched back in. But no, he was good, and I think the winner of that race has won its last couple and racing well as well.
How important is barrier 1 for Prince Joy?
Yeah, it's important for most horses, but it's massive for him.
All right, well, there's a good chance there with Prince Joy. Race 8, you're driving to Kiro again. Any sort of chance here?
Yeah, actually, I was wrapped with a run last week. She was another one sort of back last up the fence, and I actually felt if she had got an opportunity to get off the fence earlier, she probably finishes in the money. I think she sort of finished at the wheel of the winners, and it was a pretty good last half as well. So it's a tricky draw and ugly sort of setup, but with the right run in transit, I can't see why she won't be far away.
Ideally, where would you like to be with her in running?
Behind the leader.
Okay.
I don't think we'll be there, but no, if we can just get a cosy enough trip, that's what we'll be looking for.
Okay, so reading between the lines, it's only a matter of time before she picks off one of these mares' races then.
Yeah, I actually said to Nathan Dawson last week, I'll keep the drive on this one, eh?
And what response did you get there?
He said, all right, I got enough, but no, she said to me last week the way she felt, you know, she can pick up one of those mares' QOs and very shortly.
All right, so there's a couple of good chances. I'm intrigued to see which way you're going to go. If you can only label one, which one are you most looking forward to?
We might go left field, American Outlaw.
American Outlaw in the first, okay. Race 1, number 10, American Outlaw. Matty, as always, we appreciate the time and insight, so we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we haven't jinxed you for Saturday night.
Thank you.
And a big thanks to both guys, Angus and Matt. Hopefully there's a winner or two for both there on Saturday night. It looks a very competitive night's racing coming up, so I'll need that little bit of luck. Looking for a good thing or two on the program, I think race 5, number 1, Always Be Me. She looms as the horse to beat for mine in this race. Mare's only grade, she finally lands a draw. She's going a lot better than what that numerical form reads. She's had bad luck, bad draws of recent times. Tonight, or on Saturday night I should say, she can make her own luck. Race 5, number 1, Always Be Me. That starts the main quaddie as well. It's the first leg of the double. We might be able to go skinny there and just go one out with Always Be Me. I'll put all my eggs in one basket with her. So that's the best bet. As I said, good 10-race program coming through on Saturday night. Action starts at 5:04. We'll see you trackside.